Hi, it's Jamie. It is just gone almost 9:30. I just got home from my university class. Tonight I taught phonetics and I felt inspired to talk about something. So when I was a kid, I wanted to be everything under the sun. Absolutely everything. Marine biologist, a vet, a farm vet. Eventually I settled on game ranging, and then a spanner was thrown in the works and I became a teacher, something I actually never ever dreamed of becoming. And tonight in my phonetics class, the energy was really good. It was really good tonight. We're preparing for the midterm, and every single subject that I've taught before the midterm, as soon as I know when the midterm is and I'm allowed to let the students know, I let them know, and I also inform them of the quiz. So I always create a quiz that's similar to, but not at all the same as, the midterm or the final exam, just so they feel a little bit less stressed out and less pressured. So I guess what I want to talk about a bit is finding passion when you kind of have no other choice. So for context, I was 19 when I got on a plane to come to Asia. And like I said, I never wanted to be a teacher. And in the beginning, it was like I was quite rebellious and mad because I was like, I don't want to be a teacher. This is not for me. And eventually I realized that this is the only opportunity I had at the time. Now I see that there's other things that I could be doing, but I love teaching. But I had to learn to love it. It's not something that just came naturally to me. And I realized that I was thinking about it on the ride home. What I wanted to say might be a bit messy, but when you sort of have no other choice, you either do it for the money, like some teachers do, because they feel they have no other choice, they just do it for the money and then they go home, which I did for a while, not gonna lie, until I started to feel my heart opening a little bit more, especially because I was teaching little ones at the time, and I found ways to enjoy it, and I found parts of teaching that I felt passionate about. So I just kind of started leaning into that. And tonight I was just reminded of that. Like, my students were really silly. When it's this, they are first year university students, they're second semester. So they've been in university by this point about 7 or 8 months into their first year of university, and their second semester they take a subject called phonetics, pronunciation. Now, when I was asked to teach phonetics, I didn't want to. To be honest with you, I was like, why me? I really don't want to do the subject, and it's a Monday night, and I teach it in the morning on a Monday, that's a new class, and in the evening as well. So it's quite a heavy day. And I never sit down. Phonetics is the one class where I don't sit down because it's speaking, it's pronunciation, it's refining, it's practicing. And the more I realized, like, I was again against it, protesting it silently inside, things started to click, especially with regards to the importance of phonetics and why it's in the curriculum, and why learning phonetics while learning a language, why those two things in tandem. It sounds like common sense, but to me it was like, why are they learning this dumb subject? Until I realized the amount of issues with pronunciation, but also learning Khmer, not in depth, not quite as much as they're learning in English, but understanding that there are some sounds that are just not in Khmer, and some, like for instance, when Khmer students pronounce a word like smile, they say smile, because as I understand it, the Khmer language, they don't have a lot of words that sort of end in a consonant, so when they speak English, they don't always end the word with the consonant. It's just natural, you know, your brain's wired in that way. So I have to respectfully teach them out of that and teach them, I call it like to punch it, like the stress, to put the stress on the syllable, on the word. We're learning syllables, intonation, the up, down. I mean, I'm having so much fun, and tonight I had a lot of fun. I'm gonna figure out how to put this video in, but I took a video essentially of myself teaching. I didn't want them in the video.
From the top. Tom, you were so strong. Strong, not aggressive. Okay, let's go. A, E, A,
This one? Good. Yeah. Also, the braided cat. Let me just. Oh, baby, sorry. That's Isla. I'm not usually sitting here, but I'm in our office maternity ward. What was I saying? Phonetics. Yeah, tonight we were a little bit silly, having a lot of fun, but I was really, really thoroughly enjoying it, and I had 2 students who moved over from another teacher's morning session to my evening, and they're in a few units behind my students, so they were kind of catching up, and we were doing some difficult stuff tonight, like shh, I didn't even think about it until I started teaching it tonight, preparing it for this afternoon, and I was like, oh, this is a sound like erosion. It's not sh, it's not z, it's zh, for instance. Yeah, I just felt like my passion was really coming in tonight, and I was having a lot of fun, and I was seeing them have fun. And my morning class this morning were during the breakfast break, because there's a breakfast break and a dinner break, were practicing while they were eating breakfast, and I was just like, this is amazing, because they're enjoying it as well. So kind of went off on a tandem there. Tangent. Tandem is when you do things together. Tangent is when you leave without the train, or the train leaves without you. Yeah, so I think I'm just remembering the value of finding something to look forward to, finding something to get excited about and be creative with. And in my teaching journey, my God, have I had to do that, because there's a lot of things that I've had to teach that I didn't know how to teach. I have had 0, and I mean no, formal training whatsoever in my career. Have I seeked it out? Well, this version of me, I'd say the past 2-year version of me, absolutely. Before that, no. Because I had the passion, but I also had way too much going on. My frequency was so low. I was filling myself with things that really don't have value now. They have their value then. That was a version of me that I think has almost fully integrated into who I am now. But I've not had any formal training. So everything that I know, I've learned from speaking to other teachers, senior teachers, whether they're older than me or they just have a lot more experience or they have passion, which I didn't have. I find value in doing that, connecting with other teachers and finding out, how do you handle this? How do you do that? Oh, that's a cool idea. Oh, that's a cool idea. Kind of taking ideas from them. And I do this thing when I go to people's houses. I ask, of course, but I open their fridge. It's kind of an analogy for my teaching journey. I open their fridge to see what food they have, so that I know if I'm missing out on something, like a sauce or a juice, or what does this person eat, and I go and I might buy that juice or that sauce, and it's for me, it's not for me. So I suppose that's what I do in my teaching journey as well, is I kind of find things that other people are doing, and I try it, and it either works or it doesn't work, or it inspires. And that's what I've kind of built my career on, is finding passion in it. And I've just resigned to the fact that I'm a teacher, and I love it. I love it so much. And I think that the way that I teach, because perhaps I haven't, probably because I haven't had any formal training, is quite weird compared to some teachers. I don't know. I've only seen a handful teach, but it works for me. And when it's not working, I'm getting better at knowing that and changing my teaching style, changing my ideas, trying something new. I love trying new things. I mean, tonight I ripped paper out of this book that I have to rip paper out of, and I put letter Z. The phonetic for Z is Z. Z or Z, wherever you come from. And I'm teaching them the British pronunciation, the King's English, the Queen's English. And my accent is mixed because a lot of my students, their first exposure to English is with the American accent. So when I say grass, they're like, what? And then I say grass, and then they're like, oh, you're talking about that, for instance. My extra light, also known as my partner's phone, just fell. Where was I? Phonetics. Yeah, I tore pieces out and I put the phonetic symbol and I practiced. I stood in the middle and I was like, zzz, zh, and I was like, look at my mouth. So, yeah, teaching was never the plan. However, on this little journey of mine, I've found ways to survive and ways to dive in and ways to now thrive. I'd say I am thriving. Am I exhausted by this time in the evening? Absolutely. With little ones, it's physical exhaustion. With university, it's more mental exhaustion because it's the questions that come out as well. And to always be on your guard and ready for a question or ready for any kind of help that they may need, because it's less hands-on in that way because I'm guiding them. It's more I'm guiding them and I'm giving them some insight. When it's phonetics, it's absolutely correcting, reviewing, practicing. When it's global studies, okay, yeah, there's a degree of teaching, but there's also a degree of critical thinking and discussing and opening minds. With literature, it's, okay, reading, understanding, vocabulary, critical thinking, comprehension, discussion, open your mind, then a bit of writing, there's a lot. So, yeah. There are things that, of course, I don't like about teaching, and I'll probably make a video about that. But I think one of the most important things I've learned is to find passion in it. I felt at the time I didn't have a choice but to become a teacher. And now I've been a teacher so long that now I love it. I don't love all of it, but I love enough of it to feel fulfilled. Especially when I've had nights like tonight where we were laughing and the vibes were good, the energy was good, everyone was really happy, and a lot of my students are going to be doing the public speaking competition and I'm so excited for them and I'm proud of them. And some students that I never thought would do it, like didn't have the confidence in themselves, and I gave a bit of a pep talk because I care about them a lot and I think that it's really, really cool that they're putting themselves out there. It's really cool. It's a lot. I told them that they shouldn't want to win, that they should just be proud that they even had the guts to write their name down. And then I said to those who were thinking about it and didn't do it, you don't have an excuse next year. You had one chance to say no, and then the next year you have to do it. I'm sorry, but you have to. You have to put yourself out there and see what happens, because when you're 30, 40 years old and you make a list of things you're proud of, public speaking is going to be on there, so choose. Is it going to be on there? Is it not? Because I think it's a really good experience, no matter what happens. You win, you lose. Doesn't matter. Put yourself out there. And that's what I've done in my whole journey. Just put myself there. Fake it till you make it. Figure it out. And eventually, you find your routine, and eventually you find a structure, and then you break the structure, and you make a new structure, and a new routine, and then you break that. Depending on the group and the level and the age and the system that you have to work within. Yeah, I'm full of beans. I think I'm going to go rest now. I hope to have this video out perhaps tonight. It's my tangent on teaching phonetics at a university in my office/maternity ward. She is pregnant. That's a whole other story. But yeah, you got to see either. All right, thanks for listening this far. Please like, subscribe, and comment what you would like to hear from me, what you liked, what you didn't like, any questions or ideas for videos. I warmly welcome and appreciate them. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening, midnight, whatever time it is. Okay, bye-bye.